Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel Whispers Unveiled, where stories of triumph, betrayal, and jaw-dropping twists come to life. Today, we're diving into a tale so wild, so heart-pounding, you won't believe it's not straight out of a Hollywood script. Imagine a dazzling world of fame, fortune, and secrets, darker than a moonless night. A powerful man caught in a web of lies, a brilliant woman fighting for her family, and a scheming temptress ready to burn it all down. Stick with us to the end, because this story's twists will leave you speechless. And trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of this roller coaster ride. Let's get started. In the shimmering heart of Silicon Valley, California, where tech meets glamour in 2025, Ethan Caldwell reigns supreme. At 42, he's a towering figure, literally and figuratively, with piercing blue eyes that could charm a room and a jawline carved from ambition itself. Ethan isn't your typical Silicon Valley geek hunched over a laptop. No, he's a titan of the silver screen, a Hollywood producer who turned Caldwell Studios into a billion-dollar empire. His films, explosive action blockbusters and mind-bending sci-fi epics, light up theaters across the globe, raking in Oscars and obscene profits alike. Picture him striding through his sprawling glass and steel mansion, perched atop a hill, the Pacific Ocean glinting in the distance, a king surveying his kingdom. Every morning, he wakes to the hum of luxury, sleek sports cars purring in the garage, a personal chef whipping up avocado toast, and assistants buzzing like bees around a hive. Ethan's life is a dazzling tapestry of red carpets, star-studded premieres, and power plays, all stitched together with unrelenting drive. But behind the velvet curtains of Ethan's world stands Lily Caldwell, his wife of 7 years, a radiant 35-year-old whose beauty is matched only by her brilliance. Pregnant with their first child at 7 months, Lily's belly swells with promise beneath her flowing silk dresses, her warm hazel eyes glowing with a mix of exhaustion and hope. She's no trophy wife clinging to her husband's coattails. Lily's a force of her own. A renowned psychologist, she's the go-to healer for Silicon Valley's elite. Tech moguls haunted by burnout, actors wrestling with demons, and CEOs crumbling under pressure. Her cozy office, tucked in a chic Palo Alto building, is a sanctuary of soft leather couches, flickering candles, and shelves groaning with books on the human mind. Clients weep in her presence, spilling secrets they'd never dare whisper elsewhere, and Lily listens with a quiet strength that could steady a storm. She's penning her first book, too, a raw, soul-stirring guide to mental resilience, balancing late-night writing sessions with prenatal checkups. To the world, she's the perfect partner to Ethan, poised, compassionate, unshakable. Together, Ethan and Lily are Silicon Valley's golden couple, a dazzling duo plastered across magazine covers and Instagram feeds. Their wedding, a lavish affair at a cliffside vineyard, still lingers in the collective memory, a fairy tale of champagne flutes and A-list guests. But beneath the glossy surface, cracks shimmer like spiderwebs in the morning dew. Ethan's relentless pursuit of the next big hit keeps him tethered to his studio, barking orders at directors and haggling with investors deep into the night. Lily feels the distance growing, a quiet ache blooming in her chest as she rubs her swollen belly alone. She tells herself it's the price of greatness. Ethan's churning out cinematic masterpieces after all. But the late-night calls he brushes off as work gnaw at her intuition. She's a psychologist, trained to spot the unspoken, and something simmering beneath Ethan's polished grin. Enter Sasha Monroe, a 28-year-old whirlwind of allure and ambition who crashes into their lives like a meteor streaking across a clear sky. With cascading raven hair, emerald eyes that could pierce steel, and a wardrobe dripping with edgy couture, Sasha's a rising star in fashion design. She's landed a coveted gig designing costumes for Ethan's latest blockbuster, a gritty dystopian thriller set to redefine the genre. But Sasha's more than a fresh face. She's a ghost from Ethan's past, a memory he's buried deep. Years ago, as a struggling producer, he'd crossed paths with her, a fledgling designer he'd promised to mentor, only to ditch when a bigger break came along. Now, she slinks into Caldwell Studios with a confidence that turns heads, her heels clicking on marble floors as she pitches bold ideas. Leather jackets studded with spikes, shimmering capes that catch the light like liquid gold. Ethan's captivated, his laughter echoing through the set as Sasha spins her magic, oblivious to the glint of old resentment in her gaze. She's electric, unpredictable, a stark contrast to Lily's steady calm, and Ethan can't help but lean closer when she whispers in his ear. To the crew, it's just business, a creative spark between producer and designer. But Sasha's smile is too sharp, her touch too deliberate, her presence a quiet echo of a debt unpaid. Lily meets Sasha at a studio party one humid evening, the air thick with champagne fizz and celebrity chatter. Sasha's draped in a crimson gown that hugs her curves like a second skin, her laughter cutting through the crowd as she clinks glasses with Ethan. Lily, radiant in a soft ivory dress that cradles her bump, offers a polite handshake, but Sasha's grip is cool, her eyes glinting with something unreadable. "You're the genius behind all those healed souls, right?" Sasha purrs, her voice dripping with honeyed charm. Lily nods, forcing a smile, but a chill snakes down her spine. She's spent years decoding human behavior, and Sasha's mask, flawless yet fragile, sets off alarms in her mind. Ethan, oblivious, throws an arm around Sasha's shoulder, praising her visionary designs to the room. Lily watches, her heart sinking like a stone in a still pond, a whisper of doubt curling through her thoughts. The mansion hums with life that night as Ethan and Lily retreat to their bedroom, a sprawling oasis of plush rugs and floor-to-ceiling windows. He collapses onto the bed, tie loosened, exhaustion etched into his handsome face. "Sasha's a game changer, Lil," he murmurs, eyes gleaming with excitement. "This film's gonna blow everyone away." Lily perches on the edge, her fingers tracing the curve of her belly, her voice soft but edged with unease. "She's intense. You're spending a lot of time with her." Ethan chuckles, waving it off. "It's work, babe. You know how it is." But his casual dismissal stings, a tiny dagger twisting in Lily's gut. She lies awake long after he drifts off, the city lights winking outside, her mind buzzing with questions she can't yet voice. In the glittering chaos of Silicon Valley, where dreams are forged and shattered, Ethan and Lily stand on the edge of something seismic. A storm's brewing, fierce, unrelenting, and Sasha's at its heart, her shadow stretching longer than anyone suspects, fueled by a grudge Ethan's long forgotten. The unease clawing at Lily Caldwell's gut sharpens with each passing day, a relentless itch she can't scratch. At 35, she's spent years dissecting the human mind, her instincts honed razor-sharp from soothing Silicon Valley's tormented elite. But now, it's personal. Ethan, her husband of 7 years, is slipping away, and the weight crushes her chest like a vice. 7 months pregnant, her body aches under the strain of their unborn son. Yet sleep eludes her, her hazel eyes tracing shadows on the bedroom ceiling. Ethan's late nights at Caldwell Studios, his distracted stares, his curt replies, their red flags flapping in a storm she can't ignore, no matter how desperately she tries. It creeps in subtly at first. Ethan's easy laughter fades to a hollow echo, replaced by furrowed brows and restless pacing. He snaps over nothing, a misplaced script, a cold coffee, his temper flaring like a spark in dry grass. Lily watches him fray, her psychologist's mind cataloging every twitch, every sigh. "Just stress," he grumbles one evening, slumping into a leather armchair, the ocean breeze drifting through open windows. "This film's everything." She nods, words of comfort dying on her lips. Stress doesn't explain the jasmine scent clinging to his jacket, alien to her own fragrance, or the constant buzz of his phone, silenced with a flick of his thumb. Her heart twists, dread blooming like ink in water. Sasha Monroe's shadow looms larger, a seductive specter haunting Ethan's every move. The 28-year-old designer's voice crackles through late-night calls, her name tumbling from Ethan's lips with a reverence that stabs Lily's soul. Sasha's pushing boundaries, he raves over dinner, stabbing at his untouched steak. Costumes that'll stun the world. Lily forces a smile, her grip tightening on her glass, jealousy flickering hot and fierce. She's met Sasha, felt those emerald eyes weigh her like prey, and the memory gnaws at her, a predator's glint sharpened by a past Ethan's forgotten. Sasha's no stranger. She's a grudge given form, a promise he broke years ago now circling back to bite. But it's more than jealousy. It's a whisper of danger Lily can't shake. Ethan's unraveling accelerates, his meetings with Sasha spilling beyond the studio's walls. One afternoon, Lily catches him on the phone in his office, his voice hushed and urgent. "Yeah, I'll be there. Keep it quiet." He hangs as she steps in, her swollen frame filling the doorway. "Who was that?" she asks, her tone light but her eyes piercing. Ethan's smile is too tight, too quick. "Sasha, costume stuff." He turns away, shuffling papers, but the air thickens with unspoken lies. Lily's trained to spot deception, the dart of his gaze, the twitch in his jaw, and it screams at her now, loud and unyielding. The breaking point hits on a stormy night, rain hammering the mansion's windows like a furious drumbeat. Ethan's late again, muttering about editing, but Lily's done with doubts. She slips into his office, a shrine to his cinematic reign. Posters glaring from walls, awards gleaming on shelves. His laptop hums, left open in a rare slip, and her pulse races as she hesitates. Guilt prickles, but truth beckons stronger. She wakes the screen, her breath catching at a video file time-stamped days ago. Ethan, disheveled in a dim room, Sasha's voice slithering through the speakers. "You're under pressure, Ethan. Let it out." He slurs, rambling about buried deals and regrets, and Lily's stomach lurches. It's staged, wrong. A trap she's seen in her practice. Words twisted under manipulation's spell. Her mind races, connecting dots with surgical precision. She finds encrypted emails from Sasha. Tapes ready, leverage next. And the truth slams into her. Sasha's not just seducing Ethan. She's breaking him, wielding his trust like a blade. Revenge for his betrayal years ago, maybe, or a play for his empire. Lily can't tell yet, but the intent chills her blood. She copies the files to a thumb drive, her hands shaking, her baby kicking as if sensing her fear. This isn't just infidelity, it's a calculated strike, and Ethan's the pawn. Morning dawns gray, Ethan bleary-eyed over breakfast, his charisma dulled. Lily studies him, her coffee cold, her nerves alight. "You okay?" she probes, her voice soft but edged. He shrugs, rubbing his temples. Sasha's relaxation sessions, supposed to help stress. The phrase lands like a slap, and Lily's mind spins. Manipulation, suggestion, exhaustion, control. Ethan's drowning in it. "What does she say?" she presses, steady despite the tempest inside. He frowns, vague. "Stuff. Hard to think after." Her world tilts. She's pulled clients from mental quicksand, and now her husband's sinking, blind to Sasha's strings. The video, the emails, they're a scheme Lily's only starting to unravel, fueled by a grudge she's yet to fully grasp. Her fingers curl over her belly, resolve blazing in her chest. She's not just a wife or mother-to-be. She's a fighter, and she'll protect what's hers. As Ethan heads to the studio, oblivious to the gathering storm, Lily sits alone, the thumb drive a burning weight in her pocket. The rain's stopped, but tension hums, thick and suffocating. Sasha's endgame looms, and in Silicon Valley's glittering chaos, Lily's ready to strike back. Silicon Valley pulses with electric fervor on the night of the premiere. Caldwell Studios' private theater, a glittering magnet for the elite in 2025. Ethan Caldwell's Eclipse of Ashes, a dystopian thriller poised to redefine his legacy, draws 1,000 eager souls. Actors, investors, critics, beneath a chandelier cascading with crystal light. The red carpet sprawls like a scarlet vein, paparazzi flashes bursting like stars, their lenses ravenous for Ethan's swagger. At 42, he commands the scene, his tailored black tuxedo a second skin, his piercing blue eyes alight with pride. Inside, the velvet seats hum with anticipation, but beneath Ethan's polished veneer, a storm brews, one he's too blind to sense. Lily Caldwell weaves through the crowd, her 7-month pregnant frame radiant in an emerald gown that clings with fierce elegance. At 35, she's a pillar of resolve, her hazel eyes cutting through the chaos despite the exhaustion tugging at her core. The thumb drive in her clutch burns like a live coal, its contents, Sasha's staged video and emails, etched into her mind. She's unraveled the scheme. Sasha Monroe's relaxation sessions were a venomous ploy, coaxing Ethan into fake confessions of fraud and betrayal, a weapon forged from his trust. Fueled by a grudge from years past, when Ethan ditched her as a struggling designer, Sasha's poised to strike tonight, at the peak of his triumph. Sasha slinks through the throng, a 28-year-old viper in a silver dress that shimmers like molten steel, her raven hair a dark cascade. Her emerald eyes gleam with predatory delight as she whispers to a rival director, a gaunt man with a vulture's smirk who's long hungered for Caldwell Studios. She's timed this perfectly, the doctored footage loaded on a USB in her purse, set to hijack the premiere's climax. Her plan's brutal: splash Ethan's sins across the screen, live stream to millions, and watch his empire collapse, handing her ally the keys to his kingdom as revenge for his old betrayal. She brushes Ethan's arm, her voice a silken tease. "Ready to shine, darling?" He grins, basking in her flattery, blind to the blade she's sharpened. Lily's pulse thunders as she claims a front-row seat, her hands steady despite the tremor in her veins. She's tracked Sasha's every move, the sly glances, the hushed plotting, and knows the blow's coming. The lights dim, the crowd quiets, and Ethan takes the stage, his voice resonating through the theater. "Tonight, we redefine cinema," he booms, his charisma igniting the room. "Eclipse of Ashes is a revolution." Applause crashes like a wave, and Lily's chest tightens. She loves him, flaws and all. But love won't shield him now. The screen flares, credits rolling, dark, pulsating, a tantalizing glimpse of chaos. Then, a glitch. Static rips through, and murmurs ripple the audience. Ethan frowns, gesturing to a tech, but Sasha's voice slithers out, smooth and sinister. "You're under pressure, Ethan. Let it out." His face floods the screen, haggard and slurring, the footage Lily uncovered now blazing for all. "I've cut corners, buried deals, cheated on my wife." The lies she planted hit like grenades, the crowd gasping in unison. Ethan's world shatters. His jaw drops, breath seizing as the words, half true, half twisted, claw at his mind. "Did I say that?" he thinks, panic surging. He remembers the sessions, Sasha's soothing voice, the fog in his head. But not this. Shame floods him, hot and suffocating, his empire's applause turning to whispers of disgust. He's a statue, rooted, his mind screaming, "I trusted her. I let her in." The betrayal stings worse than the lies, a mirror to the promise he broke her years ago, now back to haunt him. Cameras flash, phones rise, the live stream spiking, and he's drowning, his legacy slipping through his fingers. Sasha steps forward, her smirk a razor's edge, feigning horror. "I had to show the truth," she croons, tears glistening for effect. The rival director nods solemnly, their act seamless, and the audience fractures, shouts of rage mingling with gleeful whispers. Ethan's a wreck, his fists clenched, but before he can speak, Lily rises, her gown trailing like a battle flag. She storms the stage, heels pounding, and snatches a microphone, her voice a whip crack. "Stop this!" The room freezes, every eye on her, pregnant, fierce, unstoppable. Sasha's grin wavers, unease flickering, but she doubles down. "He admitted it, Lily. You heard him!" Lily's stare is molten, her psychologist's mind slicing through the deceit. "I heard a lie," she snaps, fury lacing her calm. "You manipulated him, twisted his words. I've got proof." She brandishes the thumb drive, a tiny titan in her grip, and the crowd leans in, breathless. Ethan's eyes widen, dread crashing over him as realization dawns. Sasha's revenge, his stupidity. Lily faces the audience, her voice soaring. My husband's not perfect, but he's no crook. This woman, she jabs a finger at Sasha, staged that video. She posed as a therapist, broke him down for weeks. I've got the emails, the plan. She's blackmailing him to ruin us. Payback for a promise he broke years ago. Sasha lunges, her mask cracking. That's nonsense, you're… Lily cuts her off, her tone thunderous. Explain this then. She signals a tech, her ally in the wings, who slots the drive in. The screen shifts, Sasha's emails glaring. Tapes ready, leverage next. Yay. Gasps erupt. The rival director shrinking as the tide turns. Lily presses on, her words ablade. You preyed on his guilt, his trust. You wanted his studio, his life, because he left you behind. But you misjudged me. The crowd roars, shock and awe colliding, as Sasha stumbles, her silver dress a spotlight on her guilt. Ethan steps toward Lily, his voice raw, trembling. Lil, I didn't know. I thought she was helping me. I was a fool. Say. His eyes glisten, the weight of his past betrayal. To Sasha, to Lily, crushing him. She meets his gaze, pain and power blazing. You should have seen her for what she was, Ethan, but we're not done. She turns to the audience, her silhouette defiant. This stops here. Security floods the stage, summoned by Lily's foresight, and Sasha's hauled off. Her shrieks futile against the tide. The rival director slinks away, his plot imploding, the livestream capturing it all, millions witnessing the reckoning. Ethan reaches for Lily's hand, hesitant, and she doesn't pull back, though her grip is steel. The theater's a maelstrom, flashes blinding, voices clashing. But Lily stands firm, her breath ragged, her baby kicking as if spurring her on. Sasha's vengeance has backfired, her trap turned against her. But the fallout's just begun. Ethan's empire dangles by a thread, his trust in himself shattered, and Lily's triumph is tinged with sorrow, her heart scarred by the man she still loves. The screen fades to black, the premiere derailed, but the real battle's far from over. In Silicon Valley's merciless spotlight, where fame cuts both ways, the Caldwells brace for what's next. The theater's uproar fades to a hollow hush as security drags Sasha Monroe away, her silver dress flashing like a fallen comet. Her cries, "It's a lie! You've got nothing!" ring out, swallowed by the stunned whispers of Silicon Valley's elite, their faces aglow with phone screens. The live stream beams the wreckage to millions. Howden Caldwell collapse trending like wildfire. Ethan Caldwell, 42, stands rooted in his tuxedo, his empire's ruin a noose tightening around his neck. Beside him, Lily Caldwell, 35 and 7 months pregnant, clutches the microphone, her emerald gown a defiant flame in the chaos. She's triumphed. But the taste is sour, laced with the sting of Ethan's blindness. Sasha's collapse is swift and unforgiving. The rival director, her scheming shadow, bolts for the exit, his vulture smirk dissolving into panic. But police swarm the lobby, cuffs snapping shut. Lily's thumb drive, loaded with emails and the fake video, seals their fate, a digital guillotine. By dawn, headlines blare, designer nailed in Caldwell blackmail plot, Sasha Monroe jailed for revenge scheme, Sate, extortion, fraud, impersonation. The charges stack high, her prison cell a cold grave for her ambitions. The rival's studio crumbles, blacklisted, his name mud. Silicon Valley revels in the gossip, Sasha's grudge, a spark from Ethan's past betrayal. Now a cautionary ember. Ethan reels, the fallout a sledgehammer to his soul. Caldwell Studios buckles, stocks crashing as investors scatter. Eclipse of ashes, his supposed masterpiece, now a scandal's footnote, shelved in disgrace. He retreats to their hilltop mansion, its glass walls a cruel mirror to his fragility. Whiskey trembles in his grip, his blue eyes haunted, replaying Sasha's trap. I let her in, he thinks, the words a knife twisting deeper. He'd ditched her years ago, a broke designer he'd promised to lift, only to chase his own star. Now her revenge has gutted him, not the lies she spun, but the truth of his weakness. "I was arrogant," he rasps to the empty room, the ocean's roar mocking his fall. "Thought I could bury the past, and it buried me." Lily watches him break, her heart a war zone of rage and sorrow. She's safe, the threat crushed. But Ethan's betrayal, trusting Sasha, ignoring her, cuts like glass. She holes up in her Palo Alto office, candles flickering, replaying the premiere's chaos. Her son kicks, a fierce anchor, and her resolve hardens. She could have let Ethan sink, but she didn't. Not for him, but for them. For the family she's vowed to shield. Yet forgiveness feels like a distant shore. When Ethan shuffles in one dreary afternoon, his voice cracked with regret, she listens, unyielding. "I was blind, Lil," he says, hands outstretched, pleading. "She played me, and I let her, because I couldn't face what I did to her back then." Lily's gaze is frost. "You didn't just fail her, Ethan. You failed us." Ethan doesn't retreat. He digs in, his hosiery raw. "I'll fix it," he vows, his eyes locked on hers. "Not the studio, us." He pours himself into action, firing Sasha's allies, meeting with loyalists Lily rallied, pitching a revival for Eclipse. It's her plan. Turn the film into a redemption tale. But he drives it, sleepless, determined. The studio steadies, stocks inching up, whispers of a comeback stirring. He's still tarnished, a titan humbled, but he's clawing back, not for glory, but for her. At home, Ethan's efforts shift, small, earnest. He brews coffee for Lily, sits through her silence, his presence a quiet penance. One night, rain drumming the windows, he kneels by her side, voice breaking. "I don't deserve you, Lil. I let ambition blind me. Then, now. Tell me how to earn you back." She studies him, the man she loved, now a penitent stranger. "Start by facing yourself," she says, her tone firm but softening. "No shortcuts." Tears streak his face, but he nods, a spark of the old Ethan flickering, a man ready to rebuild from the rubble. The world buzzes with the scandal's echoes, Lily's courage, Sasha's treachery, but she tunes it out, her focus on the life within her. She's scarred but standing, her strength forged in fire. Ethan's redemption isn't her load, it's his to carry. Her clients cheer her on, Silicon Valley crowning her a quiet hero, a pregnant woman who felled a foe with grit alone. As Ethan shadows her to doctor visits, his hand hovering, she doesn't push him away. The mansion hums with cautious hope, a truce between a man humbled and a woman unbroken. Sasha's gone, her vengeance dust, but the wounds linger, a testament to how close they came to breaking. In Silicon Valley's ruthless glow, the Caldwells teeter on the edge of renewal. Autumn drapes Silicon Valley in golden light, the Caldwell mansion basking in a fragile warmth as 2025 wanes. Lily Caldwell, now 35, cradles her newborn son, Jasper, his tiny hands grasping hers with a trust that soothes her soul. Born amid the scandal's ashes, Jasper's a miracle, his gurgles breathing life into a home once steeped in silence. The pregnancy that tested her resolve has birthed a fierce love, and Lily's hazel eyes, once shadowed by doubt, shine with quiet victory. She's faced betrayal's jaws and emerged whole, her strength a lighthouse in the storm. Ethan Caldwell, 42, lingers nearby, his blue eyes gentler, stripped of their old pride. The titan who once ruled Silicon Valley is humbled, rebuilding step by shaky step. Caldwell Studios endures, its revival a tribute to Lily's steel. She'd rallied allies, rebranded Eclipse of Ashes as a tale of grit, and Ethan drove it home. The film, released late, wins acclaim, its raw heart striking a chord with audiences who see his flaws reflected. He's no golden boy now, tabloids still sneer, but he's fighting, not for fame, but for family. I owe you everything, he tells Lily one dusk, his voice thick. She nods, silent, weighing his words against her wounds. Lily's star soars higher, her book, Unmasked Minds, storming shelves with unflinching power. It's a raw weave of pain and wisdom, dissecting trust and survival, and it shakes Silicon Valley's core. Critics rave, clients flock, women nationwide clutch it like armor. She's no longer just Ethan's wife or Sasha's foe. She's a beacon, a mother who turned treachery into triumph. Her office hums with seekers, and she meets them with unwavering grace, the same fire that saved her home, now lighting others' paths. Yet, beneath her strength, a quiet war rages. Ethan's efforts, brewing her tea, rocking Jasper, pleading for trust, chip at her walls, but forgiveness gnaws at her. Does he deserve it? She wonders, watching him sway their son to sleep. She's saved him, yes, but the ache of his blindness, to Sasha, to her, lingers like a bruise. One evening, as Jasper coos in her arms, she voices it, her tone steady but raw. I fought for us, Ethan, when you didn't. Why should I trust you won't falter again? He kneels, eyes glistening. Because I've seen what I almost lost. I'll stumble, Lil, but never like that. His honesty pierces her, and though she doesn't absolve him, she softens, a crack in her armor. Their home hums with tentative peace. Ethan's penance grows, reading her book, joining her at appointments, listening when she speaks of her fears. Jasper's laughter binds them, a fragile glue for their fractured bond. Silicon Valley watches, its glare easing as Sasha fades. A name hissed in shadows, her cell a tomb for her spite. The rival directors erased, his schemes ash, and the industry shifts. Ethan's humbled reign, a lesson in frailty. But Lily's rise overshadows all, her courage a rallying cry. Winter nears, and Lily stands on the hilltop, Jasper against her chest, Ethan beside her. The ocean rolls below, its rhythm echoing her pulse. She's not the woman she was, naive, trusting. She's forged anew, scars a badge of survival, Jasper a vow to endure. Ethan's hand brushes hers, and she takes it, their grip cautious but real. Forgiveness isn't a gift yet. It's a road they'll tread, rough and winding. We're enough, she whispers, to him, to herself, and he nods, a man reborn in her light. In Silicon Valley's sprawl, where dreams break and mend, the Caldwells step forward, scarred, steadfast, whole. Hey, amazing viewers! Thank you so much for joining us on this wild emotional journey with Ethan, Lily, and Sasha. What a ride, right? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Did Lily's strength inspire you? Did Ethan earn his shot at redemption? Drop a comment below and let us know. If you love this story, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our next tale of triumph and twists. You're the best part of this channel. Thanks for being here.